Good evening, viewers, wherever you're watching from. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. And I'm Asu Chinad Peters, live on the program, Matters Arising. It's my pleasure to be back here, far better than ever before. And this program is going to be very brief. At some point, it could be like a test run to see if everything is okay with what we've just set up. And thanks to our partners globally who are supporting us to make sure we serve you better and to give you the voice you deserve. Today, we're going to be very quick to react to some of the things, the matters that are arising in Nigeria, beginning with the position of Nnamdi Kanu. Recently, the past program we wanted to do and the past post we just wanted to do, the time we went to court, where he confronted the Nigerian judicial system, justice system, with the truth from their own constitution, from the Nigerian constitution, and the judge couldn't stand it. What happened? She resigned. Let us quickly take a recap on that, and I'll be right back to take a swipe on it. Don't go away.
On the lower court. So I was actually surprised that a high court have refused to obey or abide by the determination of a Supreme Court judgment.
And then take the only part that is against him and then refuse to apply the part that is in favor of him.
This cherry picking of what was contained in the Supreme Court judgment is what I'm against. Yes, that's correct. It should be implemented holistically. Yes. I'm not against facing any trial. After all, I'm innocent, they have nothing against me. But there cannot be any trial when key sections of the Constitution and a key Supreme Court judgment has been violated by a court of law.
So you'll be patient for the case to go back and come back to court?
This is my 4th year in solitary confinement in detention. The 5th year will not kill me.
Sorry, what if the case is also reassigned back to her? Will you still be
Constitution, parts of the Constitution where he is taking his reference from, with respect to the trial is going through, and the Nigerian system seems to be very confused about their own very constitution, and then Nnamdi Kanu is pointing it out clearly for them. Remember that?
Of the judge is questionable.
That's for those of you who are watching from the Instagram. You can see that he just got the documents and he's reading from it.
Where it says all these things are online. Is it not page 18? All these things are online. So I suggest that the journalists in this country actually take out time to do some basic research. It's not difficult, just minor research. You will understand the virtuousness, the emptiness of all the charges against me. Okay. They kept switching the charges. Yes. They said I committed this crime in England, isn't it? Yes. I made a broadcast in England. Yes. And in 9 charges leveled against me, this place where I committed this crime was London, in the United Kingdom. Yes.
Okay, let me just end it there. I don't want to bore you with that because already we've published that video in the past. You can take a look at that on our platforms. You can search out for it in case you've not watched it because this is not the current one. That I'm just trying to build up. And here we say the truth the way it is, the hardcore truth. Okay, now the CJN recently, today I think, or today or yesterday, was seen in a viral statement addressing the press, trying to gag not just the press this time, but lawyers. Of course, you will agree with her in what she said because that is exactly what is expected of lawyers in terms of what they call prejudice. Let us quickly take a swipe on that very quickly and we'll come back immediately because it is important you see some of these things, you hear some of these things and understand how these things apply. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
A senior member of the bar who has earned the rank of silk, it's a privilege. It's not a right, and that privilege could be withdrawn if it is abused. So in any of these situations, the courts too will use their own powers. We do have powers where a matter is sub judice and somebody goes out in public on the television station, media, social media, to comment on those cases, because it does have a negative effect on the administration of justice, on how we handle our cases. Because when you then give a judgment, the way it is assessed is based on what has been in social media. But notwithstanding that, I would say that judges know the oath they have taken and will abide by that oath and not be influenced by social media.
All right, you just seen that. That is what the CJN said. You can agree with her totally that, yes, the one they call prejudice, for those of you who knows the law, when something is presented before the court, we are not supposed to be, discussing it on the public space, especially in the media. That is obtainable. But in Nigerian system, where justice has been perversed, even in court, where we have seen the court and the judges turn the constitution upside down. And in case you don't know, I heard that this same CJN, this woman was the one that presided over the court and the judgment that brought about the third position in an election in Imo State, talking about Hope Uzodimma, to emerge the winner of that election from the justice system. Now, what is about Nnamdi Kanu in all of these things? Nnamdi Kanu will always come out to expose some of these things that is happening in court, which the people and the press are not knowing or not seeing. Nnamdi Kanu said that. Now, she made mention of that of the elections and the rest of them, the tribunals and the rest of them. Oh, what is it that in a system that every election must end up in court, must end up in the Supreme Court, must end up in court of appeal like the rest of them? Why? If the system obeys the laid down process, if INEC does what is stipulated for it to do, you don't need to be going about on this, what do you call it? This back and forth judicial proceedings and the rest of them to seek the redress. Now, politicians who rig election are now proud. Even INEC are now proud to tell you to go to court. Because you know that even, like we say, we've been used to the word that the court is the last hope of the common man. I can tell you that is a big fallacy in Nigeria today. Because it is the court that destroyed the last hope of a common man in Nigeria. Because the common average Nigerian person today have lost hope, not just in the electoral system, but also in the justice system to dispense justice. That is the system. That is the belief. It's not my opinion. If you go out there, they will tell you. So I think this woman, if she should be sincere to herself, because they say, oh, that meaning that a snake must give birth to something that is still long. A product of corruption cannot fight corruption. That is the bottom line. Now, let us now go to the final aspect of it, okay, which is the Yahaya Bello EFCC. Now, that place corruption and impunity, Tairapa. Because when I saw this guy on, what do you call it, on Arise TV, what was that his name? The EFCC guy that came up to say something about Nnamdi Kanu, not Yahaya Bello and EFCC. You know, what he said here, honestly speaking, makes me to weep for this country you call Nigeria. Let us take a quick swipe at his own position. Then when I come back, we'll wrap it up. And perhaps the lines will be open if you are available to speak live on this program. Let us get his own opinion. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Well, thank you, Dr. Bati, for that question. If I wasn't an official of the EFCC, I would probably ask the same question. But I think what should bother Nigerians more than what happened on the 18th of September is the fact that former Governor Yahaya Bello had an opportunity yesterday to present himself before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja, and he failed to do so. If he had done that, he would have complied with the decision of the Court of Appeal, which mandated him to present himself before Justice Nwite in respect of his own appeal, decision on his own appeal. The court mandated him to formally present himself before Justice Nwite, but he didn't do so. That, as far as I'm concerned, exposes the insincerity of Yahaya Bello in appearing at the car park of the EFCC on the 18th of September this month. I think we will have a better understanding of what transpired on that day when we reviewed what really happened. For instance, even before Yahaya Bello arrived at the car park of the EFCC, he had already sent out media information across all the platforms that he had presented himself to the EFCC, and they were even saying that he has been detained. And that was not true. At the time that information got across, Yahaya Bello was not even in the premises of the EFCC. He had not even arrived there. That for us was an indication that he had a game plan, which was not a matter of just merely submitting himself to the commission. And that game plan can only be explained by himself alone. And from our review of what really happened, it was simply a case of the former governor, the current governor, Governor Ododo, being conscious of the fact that he was turning himself into an accomplice of a crime probably he didn't know about. Because all this while that Yahaya Bello has been dodging EFCC and stalling proceedings, he has been hiding in government house in Lokoja, and he escaped when we made an attempt to arrest him. The first attempt to arrest him, it was the same governor that took him away. I'm sure his minders went and told him that, look, what you are doing, Mr. Governor, you probably, after you leave office, you will probably be liable for for obstructing justice. And I believe that was the reason why Governor Ododo brought Yahaya Bello to the car park of the EFCC. But that was not what the Court of Appeal asked them to do. The decision of the Court of Appeal was to say, go and present yourself before Justice Nwite. That was the ruling, not present yourself before the car park of the EFCC.
This one is laughable. This one is actually laughable. Honestly speaking, my people, it is totally laughable to hear some of these things we are hearing from these guys, EFCC on Arise Television. You can imagine, even if you are talking to Dundees, even if you are talking to Doms, okay? It's very unfortunate that we are seeing all of these things happening, and there is no remedy. Nigeria is irredeemable, to be honest with you. Looking at what these guys are saying and coming to gush out. Well, myself, like I told you, this is going to be very brief. I don't want to take too long. And I appreciate those of you who are watching already on the YouTube, those of you who are watching on the Instagram already on the YouTube, those of you who are watching on the Instagram. Honestly, we are just test running this stage. This is appearing this way on Instagram Live. In fact, we've not been very active on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are coming for TikTok very soon, so that we make sure that this message spreads wide and far. I've seen a lot of our people on TikTok, doing a lot of things, very active. We want to bring them in. We want to rake them in on this community where we tell them undiluted truth that will cure them from mental slavery and gullibility when it comes to bad governance or people in power. So let me just keep it at that. I appreciate every one of you. The lines are open anyway to take your calls, but unfortunately, I can't wait for that call that long. But I wish any of you could call to make your opinions, air it up. Let everyone hear you. This is a community where everybody can interact, okay? So I'd hoped that you guys will be part of it. But in order to make sure that we tidy everything up and to make sure that all our setup are good to go, let me just make a call. I will be the one to make this call to my partner, the voice in the wilderness, also with me, Ndubisi and Enugu. If he can pick this call, I think he has picked the call. Let's see if he can get across. Hello, Ndubisi.
Good evening.
Yeah, Ndubisi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
We are live and direct. I just called you to make sure that we get everything in order in terms of getting our people to hear their voice across board on our platforms. Now, quickly, we talked about Yahaya Bello and the CJN position to gag barristers or lawyers from speaking on cases in court. What is your take on it generally, just briefly, just a minute or thereabout, so that we can conclude? I don't want to spend more than 3 minutes.
All right, thank you, Chinedu. You know, what is going on in Nigeria is mind-boggling. Many of us are disappointed with the judiciary, because the saying goes that the last hope of common man is judicial, but that is not currently the case. As Yahaya Bello, he has been ongoing. EFCC has for a long time declared him wanted. But are you declaring somebody that is not at large, somebody whose whereabouts is unknown? EFCC cannot claim that they don't know where the former governor of Kogi State is staying. The former governor of state whereabouts is known. It's quite known to Nigerian public. It's quite known to EFCC. So they should stop deceiving people. Nobody is being deceived. If he's a common criminal, EFCC would have gone ahead and arrested him.
Now, the guy was even saying that EFCC, this guy came to their car garage. The person you declared wanted. You can imagine, came to your car garage and you excused him that he should go and appear before the court.
He went to the office. They are giving excuses. The excuses they are giving is that he came with the governor because the governor has immunity. I don't understand.
Very terrible people.
I do not understand. The constitution of Nigeria, the law of Nigeria is designed for some people, while some people is harsh on others. So Nigerians are not the same. The indigenous people in Nigeria are not the same. But I can assure everybody, I can confidently tell our people that the judgment day is fast approaching.
Exactly.
Coming. The judgment day, evil does not last forever.
All right. Ndubisi, thank you very much for joining the program. And on here, I'll be wrapping it up on today's program. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, my people, that is where I'll be drawing the curtain. As you have seen, we've just done what we're supposed to do to bring you this program. Like I told you, this is just a kind of a test run broadcast to see that everything is up and running. The numbers to call is always here anytime we want to do our live program. You can reach out and expand this community. Let us come together and mobilize ourselves to free ourselves from this bad governance. Nobody will do it for us. And that will not be the solution. I'm Asuchero Peters, the advocate for good governance, hoping that you help me share this video to all and sundry. I'm signing out from here. Stay blessed and stay safe and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye for now.